Hello everyone and welcome back to Speaking Spurs and me, Kieran, talking all things Tottenham. On a day where we really should have taken the 3 points, we had chances to. There was factors behind why we couldn't get over the line, which we will discuss in today's video, in that 1-1 draw against Southampton in the Premier League, which kind of disrupts our top 4 challenge. West Ham back to winning ways as well today, which doesn't help things, but don't forget we still have those games in hand to help us. So welcome back to the channel. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe so you can get your updates, be that anything to do with games, player ratings, transfers. We have a laugh in the comments and talk about everything there. So don't forget to support it with a like and then put your comments below. So jump into it for today. So the team that we had out there playing, Hugo Lloris back in goal. He's never out of goal. Hugo Lloris in goal. Sanchez, Dyer and Davies is the man that comes back into the starting lineup, replacing Tanganga, who was on the bench for today's game. Royale on the right with Reguilon on the left. Højbjerg and Winks in together to give Skippy a little bit of a rest. Then you had Dele Alli, Harry Kane and Son making up a front three. Dele Alli in an unfamiliar role on the right of the attacking trio. So we'll just talk a little bit through the game. Well, it was annoying. It was really, really annoying. I thought we were going to get over the line. Ended up against 10 men again. So we'll just talk through a few little bits that happened. Ben Davies had a header ruled out for offside. That was from a Sonny free kick. That was our first one that was disallowed of 3. Kane, a few early overhit through balls, which was really frustrating. It was nice to see that he's looking for those proper passes through instead of doing those long sideways ones he done. But yeah, just slightly overhit a few of them there. Lots of loose passes from Spurs. I felt like Southampton were really pressing us and we were under pressure and we were forcing ourselves into unnecessary mistakes in possession. Really gave it up too cheaply. Honestly, Southampton were pressing so high right from the front. And very, very, very intensive pressing as well, like straight on us the second we got the ball. Then after 25 minutes, that pressure from Southampton paid off where Ward-Prowse hit. Great strike. Sliced across it with Swaz outside of the foot, leaving Lloris no chance. He was actually close to it in the end, which is surprising because he saw it very, very late. There was a complete body of players. When you see the goal from the reverse angle, you'll see Lloris had little to no chance of seeing. It was pure reactions, but it was a great strike. That came from a Southampton throw-in, and we just weren't quick enough to react to the loose ball. Ward-Prowse was waiting there. Dele Alli tried to close him down, but he was never going to make it. Great strike. 28 minutes in, we get a Kane free kick, well hit through the wall, but from that kind of distance, you know, it had to be an absolute worldie of a strike. He just caught it well, but it was comfortable for Forster to get down to. Personally, I think it was just too far out to go for goal. Probably should have allowed somebody to drift the ball in. But still, even from there, it's a hard angle. It was fairly central in terms of the goal positioning. Hassan Hutel was actually booked on 30 minutes for dissent to the referee. So there was a series of fouls that were made by Southampton players, and they were getting pulled up on a regular basis, and I think he was just getting frustrated, thinking the referee was giving away too many soft free kicks that went against them. 34 minutes in, Sonny has a solo run and decides to take a shot, which I was a little bit annoyed at because Reguilon had made a run out to the left of him, which was one option, but the one I was most annoyed that he didn't take up was Royale on the right-hand side. He had acres of space in front of him. All Sonny had to do was play a nice diagonal ball along the floor for Royale to run onto and then lay it back across the box, and Sonny would have been one of those men to get into the box. Decided to be selfish, and there was a tame shot at Forster. Just not good enough from him, really, in my opinion, based on the player that he is. Lots of poor first touches as well in attack. The amount of balls that were played towards an attacking player and it bounced off the back of their heels, where they're not keeping their eye on the run of the ball and just more interested in the run that they're going to be making. So that was pretty poor to see. And then 38 minutes into the game, we get a penalty. There is a second yellow for Salazar. And look, so this is the second game in a row where a player has been sent off and it's been harsh. So the yellow card that he got sent off for, not harsh at all. Completely agree that that was a yellow card. Problem is the first yellow card, slightly harsh, because when you actually look back at replays, there was a handball from Spurs as the challenge is being made. So just like Zaha, his first one against Palace shouldn't have been a yellow card. This one shouldn't have been. But again, it's a player on a yellow card that has not done the mature thing in play and got himself sent off. I mean, no, it wasn't quite how Zaha got himself sent off, with being a violent idiot, getting wound up by either Sanchez or the crowd. But Salisu in that position in the box should have known better than to take the action he did. And then obviously Harry Kane does what Harry Kane does best, does his little shuffled run up, comes onto the ball, strikes it beautifully into the left-hand side of the goal, nice and high. Forster actually dived the wrong way. And there we are, we're back in the game, it's 1-1. After that, not too much really happened in terms of the first half. It was quite late on. So we come out for the second half, expecting fully to take control of this game. And we kind of did. We kind of took control in this game, not in the way I would have liked us to, because we didn't go on to score. Well, we did score, but we didn't go on to score a goal that counted. So we're back out. Reguilon has been replaced. He picked up a yellow card late on in the first half. He didn't have the best first half. He was quite erratic. So 52 minutes in, Kane has a goal ruled out. Harry Winks plays a lovely ball. Harry Kane with an absolutely beautiful touch, and I think it's Walker-Peters that's next to him at the time. He takes a great touch. First time that just knocks it to the right into the open path, slots it away beautifully, and he's ruled out for a very, very tight offside. It looks like his body's in line. It must have been like one of them where it's like a couple of millimetres offside, and I was hoping that this sort of thing was gone from the Premier League. Obviously his arm was offside, so last season he would have been called offside for that, but this time it looks like it was part of the main part of his body that was offside. And then 54 minutes in, Kane plays a great ball for Sonny. Sonny then gets blocked by defence. There was about 4 of them around him as he took the shot. Ali then comes off on the 61st minute for Lucas Moura. We'll talk more about Dele Alli in the player ratings video that I'm going to do today, so keep an eye out for that one. This is more about the game itself. And yeah, so he was replaced for Moura, who you would have expected to use his pace to cause some problems. You know, he's fantastic in the last game, was man of the match in that, so was really hoping for big things for him. Didn't come. 66 minutes in, Winks plays a really high cross. I wasn't actually happy with the cross at all. It was really poor. And then Forster, he goes up to claim it, but instead of claiming it at its highest point, like with his hands up here, he decides to take it with his hands lower down, more to the in between his chest and abs. Uncomfortable. Doherty goes up for the challenge with him. They collide. I'd actually say he more collides with Doherty than Doherty colliding with him. So it's another goal. It drops down and falls off the back of, I think it's Doherty's heel. That one is disallowed for a foul. There's absolutely nothing in it. It was, you know, 50-50. Both are more entitled, more than entitled enough to go for it. Results in a goal, and it is ruled out. It's a very, very harsh decision. There was way too much protection for Fraser Forster. Bearing in mind, the guy is an absolute unit. You know, he stands very tall, he's very strong. And then he's up against Doherty and he gets given as a foul. And I think it was a terrible decision. You know, and I think we see a pattern that things aren't going our way. We've had two ruled out for offside. We've now had one ruled out for a foul. But that didn't stop Doherty having more chances. 69 minutes in, he makes a lovely overlapping run on the left, just inside the box. Sonny lays it off to him. Could have done better with it, but you know, we know Doherty's not a striker. He's not the most convincing striker of the ball either, and doesn't do enough. Forster makes himself big and makes a save. Then 75 minutes in, Winksy again, another ball over the top. This time it is for Doherty. He gets his 3rd chance of the game. It was another excellent run by him, but a very poor shot, just kind of blasts it over. He went with his favoured right foot, probably should have gone with his left, and I think even a mistimed and poor effort with his left foot is more likely to have gone on target than his right foot from that position. He may have been offside from it though, very slightly. Then 76 minutes in, Hill is introduced and he takes Royale off. So an attacking change, decides to take somebody that can defend and attack and just puts out an attacker onto the pitch. And I don't mind that. I don't mind the fact that we were going to go for it. And it did make a difference. Like, Hill played fairly well when he came on. He was trying to make things happen. Got to the byline, a couple of crosses that could have been better if there's a bit more power behind them. They were slightly misplaced where he was off balance, but nonetheless, a positive impact. You know, this guy is just feeling his way back into the squad anyway. My issue with Doherty being out on the left was the fact that he's not left-footed. So every time he got the ball in a decent attacking position, he had to keep cutting back onto his right foot, which then led later on in the game Ben Davies to start coming further forward for the first sort of time in this game, to then give us an upper option out on the left to cross in, and he did make a couple of crosses. But yeah, Doherty, it slowed the game down so much. And like, we had all this momentum, he would then cut back inside. It then gives the Southampton defence a chance to wake up, and it meant pretty much all of his crosses were dealt with. A few of them were overhit to the back post to Royale earlier in the game, when Royale was still on. So, you know, it just wasn't the right move. I don't think we needed somebody with a left foot out there. It just didn't happen. I mean, Doherty, interestingly, can play as a centre-back in a back three. So, you know, maybe it would have been best to either put Doherty there and put to put Ben Davies out on the left so we have that attacking option, or bring Tanganga in as the third centre-back and allow Ben Davies to go out on the left. You know, just another way of looking at it. It might have helped us a little bit. Ben Davies has showed more than often than not this season from a centre-back position that he can attack. So yeah, that was kind of it. It was just a game of two tight offsides, over protection of a goalkeeper, and a red card. So just looking at the game, we had 21 shots in this game. 11 of them were on target. 5 of them were blocked. We had 7 corners. We were offside 3 times, and 2 of those we know were from goals. We won 15 fouls. We had 65% possession. There you have it. We had all the ingredients there to win the game. We just couldn't get over the line. And, you know, obviously we had a referee that was a little bit against us at times. On a different day, and a different referee, maybe the Doherty and Forster collision changes. I did think for the majority of the game, though, Forster was very good in goal. I do think he's a reliable goalkeeper. He's a hard one to get past, commands his area well. Kyle Walker-Peters, you know, what was happening there? We sell him, he's against us, and then helps him out. Like, late in the game, the Davies strike that he headers away. He made a couple of good tackles throughout the game. The late chance for Harry Kane that he heads just wide. I know Walker-Peters was facing the right way. Sorry, Walker-Peters was probably facing the wrong way. He did enough to put Harry Kane off. So a former Spur is another one of the reasons why we didn't manage to get over the line today. So yeah, thanks for that, Kyle. Although it is nice to see him playing well, and it was a great header for the block shot very late on in the game. They also had their chances late, a chance late on in the game, and that was Eric Dyer completely reading a ball wrong. Doesn't make enough of an effort to get to it. Maybe he didn't have a man on call from behind. He wasn't aware of what was going on. And it was only thanks to Davinson Sanchez that we didn't concede from that. And Sanchez, I thought, had a good game. On the whole, most of the players played all right. The passing just wasn't good enough today. Defensively, there was a lot of effort. I felt like we defended quite well as a whole. We were good in the press as well. But Southampton just kind of matched us man for man in terms of the press. And Hassan Hutel had threatened that before the game. He said that we're a very good team under Conte, but we will match them. And that's exactly what they did, to the point where for periods of time in the first half, they were the better team. They were pressing really well. They were keeping the ball in possession quite well. It was only defensive blocks and clearances and some good reading of the game from Harry Winks that managed to help us out there. But I thought on the whole we defended at the back fairly well. Davies, Dyer and Sanchez, I felt like the balls that were drifted in, they dealt with quite well, as they have been for a while. I feel like we just lacked something in the midfield. I don't agree with Dele Alli playing where he played. It's a different position for him. It's not the right position. Even so, I feel like he could have played better, considering he looked quite sluggish. Now, I don't know if that's because he normally wouldn't be in that position, so he looks a bit more sprightly when he's in a central area, but I think out wide, you're up against quicker players as well. So I think it made him look slower than he is, because he was up against a faster player out there. But yeah, it's certainly not a position that I want to see him in moving forward. I think maybe the formation should have been tweaked slightly instead of having what looked like a front three. I think initially when we saw that lineup before the game, we thought Dele Alli was going to be a little bit deeper, playing as sort of like a number 10 with Harry Kane and Son in front of him. But as the game wore on, it just kind of showed that Dele Alli was out on the right. Whether that was a two behind Harry Kane or them all up front together, it kind of interchanged as the game went on. But for me, it just didn't work. And Dele Alli is clearly better in a central position, or even sometimes better on the left rather than the right, just because it allows him to cut inside and shoot with his favoured foot. So that one didn't work for me today. Doherty again, yeah, that one didn't work for me. So I feel like Conte got a few things wrong, but we were up against 10 men, so we should have had the quality to get us over the line. Maybe should have made some different substitutions. I've already suggested what I would have done with the left wing back situation. But let me know in the comments below, what would you have done differently? Who else would you have taken off throughout the game to make those changes that might have helped us win the game? I'm interested to know, because we're all going to have different opinions on this one based on the guys that are on the bench. Do you think we needed a formation change? I mean, it's a tough one. It's a hard one to take because we did create more than enough chances, as you've seen, 21 shots. But I think we only created 3 clear-cut chances. So we need to get better at that. I feel like Harry Kane is not far off now where he needs to be. I mean, he obviously took his penalty really well. The goal that he scored that was ruled out for offside, he took very well. That was a brilliant strike. He was getting involved a lot more in through balls forwards. I know in the last game he was spreading a lot of balls across field, which were very good, don't get me wrong. But I want to see him playing more of those through balls, you know, needle thread balls. He played a couple of decent balls to Sonny throughout the game, but unfortunately for us, Sonny just wasn't at the races today. So yeah, there we have it, a 1-1 draw against Southampton, which doesn't do us too many favours, but at the same time, it's better than a loss away. And Conte now stays undefeated in 7 Premier League games, which actually makes him the first to do so in Tottenham's Premier League history. So congratulations to him on that. However, I would have liked to have got the victory, send us get over the line, especially with West Ham winning today. So that puts a bit more pressure back on us. We'll see what happens with all the other games up and down the Premier League. Obviously, there's still postponements going on due to COVID at the moment. So the Premier League's all over the place. It's going to take a while for all the teams to kind of catch up and be on a level playing field again. But that is it for this section of the video today. Thank you for sticking around and watching that one. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. And until the next video, which will be coming out today as well, which will be the player ratings, take care and come on you Spurs.